Hi and a warm welcome to Happiness is a Muscle. My name is Vaibhav, and like every week, we bring to you some amazing minds in the world. And today, the person who we have has not just made perhaps Kerala proud, South India proud, but she's brought pride to the entire nation. She won a World Championship, the historic World Championship bronze medal 2003 in Paris. In the World Athletic Finals, she won the gold in 2005 Monte Carlo. Commonwealth Games 2002 in Manchester, she won the bronze. Asian Games, she won gold in 2002 in Busan and silver in 2006 Doha. In the Asian Championship in 2005, she won gold, and in 2007 she won silver. And in the South Asian Games, she won gold in 2006 Colombo. She's got various awards. She's got the Padma Award from Kerala. She's got the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. She also has the Asian Games Championship in women's long jump. And our guest for today is Padma Shri Anju Bobby George. Ma'am, welcome to Happiness is a Muscle.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Before I move on and I introduce our main man, Vivek Bhargava, I need to really ask you that when is your biopic coming out on the big screen?
No, I don't think. I am also have no clue about that.
We will work towards it. The world needs to know your story, and what a fabulous platform that you have chosen. Thank you for speaking up, perhaps like for the first or the second time, about the challenges that you had. And for all our guests out there, a world champion with just one kidney. That is Padma Shri Anju Bobby George for you. And now it's time to introduce our main man, Mr. Vivek Bhargava. He is the CEO of Dentsu Performance Group. He loves table tennis and also owns a team called Goa Challengers in the Ultimate Table Tennis League, and is also a silver medalist in the last year's senior category of table tennis. Please welcome Mr. Vivek Bhargava. Please round of applause. Let's get the energy going, because this conversation is going to be very interesting for me, because I'm not looking at someone like perhaps angel investor or an athlete. I'm just looking at two athletes that would talk about their struggles. They would connect with each other, and they would bring out the best in each other. So, sir and ma'am, over to you. Hoping to have a fabulous conversation. I will come back later in the conversation and have my questions and queries. So, Vivekji, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Vaibhav. Welcome, Anju. And I don't think Vaibhav should compare us as athletes, because I'm a building athlete and you're a world-class athlete. There's a big difference between the two athletes. But Anju, I think I'll give you a little context of how this thing happened. Basically, what happened was that I grew up in a middle-class family, and somehow or the other, I had this fixation that I need to make money. So right from my childhood, I had this thing that I want to make money. And as luck would have it, I sold my company to this Japanese multi-billion dollar group. So in a way, I made some money. And within 9 months of that period, suddenly I found myself in a hospital where my dad was on the ventilator. And suddenly I realized how worthless that money was. And there's nothing much you can do about money in a situation that involves health and life. And in that days of introspection, I said, okay, what should be my new goal now? If it's not money, what should it be? And I discovered this goal that I want to increase joy and happiness in my life every minute, every day for the rest of my life. And I went on that quest, and I found a lot of books. I found a lot of videos that talked about happiness, but most of them covered some physical aspect of happiness. Do meditation, be grateful, exercise, sleep adequately. But nobody talked about the mental makeup, what makes you sustainably happy. So that I discovered that the more and more people you talk to, the more and more mental models you find out what sustains happiness in them, how their relationship with money is, how they strive for a purpose in life, and that what gives them sustainable happiness. So the purpose of these interviews is to find out the mental makeup of successful people, of how they are able to sustain happiness, find purpose in life, and that's where we are, Anju. So thanks a lot for spending your time with us on a Saturday morning. But this is what I want to pick on and find out what makes people like you strive harder, fight the odds, and become not only more successful, but become happier. Because I believe that happiness brings you success rather than success bringing you happiness. So thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So I would love to start with Anju. your sort of a childhood and background, what made you strive this hard? Because athletics is probably one of the most toughest uh, sports in the world, because in a lot of sports, right, there is fewer countries participates. If you take even to a great extent, many sports that are popular in India, 20 countries or 10 countries participate. But if you take the world of athletics, there's probably hardly any country that does not participate. So it's the toughest sport to actually excel in. So we'd love to know what gave you this motivation in your childhood, what made you, because you also must have chosen this over money at many times, right? Because studies and everything. So would love to know a little background. How did you got into the sports and what are the things that motivated you?
Okay, so as you said, I am also from a middle class family, and my parents actually they could make out some difference other than many other kids because I was very active from childhood, and I was always outside playing with the even with the boys, and I'm running very fast, jumping very fast. So actually, they decided in whichever field uh, I am excelling, they will help put me in that, and they will help me till the end. So that decision actually it was in later stages uh, like um, it was worth enough because I started athletics at the age of 5, and it was a slow and steady process because uh, from um, from I think uh, after my fourth standard I started doing with a coach, and since then my parents were searching for good schools where athletics is popular or good coaches, and from college also I was like fortunate enough to get a good college and good coaches, and slowly I came to national camp, senior national camp, and from there I got Bobby. He was also an athlete there, so he was actually he was coaching me, and at the same time he was doing triple jump in the national competition. So he was there in the national camp as a coach and as an athlete. So I can say that there was someone always with me to like support me in a way which I needed, and actually. Uh, Athletics, as you said, this is one of the toughest event in the world, and we are competing against 214 countries. So getting a medal is not easy in athletics, and so in World Championship and Olympics for athletics, it's same competition. So same Usain Bolt is running in Olympics, and same Usain Bolt is running in World Championship. It's only the name different, but Olympics, it's that name is something different. So getting a medal from Olympics is something different because uh, it's a game. And long jump actually this is highly technical event, and uh, world of athletics sometimes it's not fair. It's like doping is there. We have to fight with all those things, and America, European countries, they are way ahead of us, and all sort of things support system they have, but we are doing with all the gymnasium or all tracks and old spikes. When I was young, I was using single spikes for 2-3 years because it was not easily available in India. So all these things were there, but still our hard work and our passion towards sports, so that was and that inner fire to show the world I want that I can do this much, or I can reach up to this level, even um, even with all these uh, what to call limited facilities. And I can say that it's not only my capacity or capability; it is Bobby's desire also.
Awesome. So one thing I wanted to ask you was that in right from your childhood, you must have had a lot of friends and colleagues who were also participating along with you. Some of them also had a lot of talent. But what makes the difference? Some people reach a world class level, and some people don't reach a world class level. What makes a difference? Is there a discipline? Is there a passion? Is there a fire? What makes the difference? In introspect, if you look back, some people who are as talented as you and bring
Yes.
make it to a world-class level? What was the biggest difference between?
I think there are two things. The first thing, we need to get a good coach, and the one who is looking after like everything. It's not like he's just coaching. He need to manage you really well, and he need to arrange everything for you, and that's the main thing. Second thing is that we need some faith and that luck, that also work a lot. And see, as you said, there are many talented athletes in India, but very few are reaching up to that level. So even if you are getting good coach or you're getting all the facilities, you need to have that inner fire. So when you're going for a bigger challenge, see, if you when you are in the row like Olympics or World Championship, when you're standing alone inside the stadium, so you need to withstand with that pressure. It's I don't know how to express that pressure, because we are handling uh, crores and crores of people, like expecting you to win, and that much pressure you have to your shoulder have to bear that much pressure, and you have to perform at the same time. So that also you need to learn. So it's not training and competing. Lot of other things also you need to learn how to handle.
So I think happiness is a lot about mental makeup.
Yes.
Same way, I think sports and athletics is a lot about mental makeup. So one is that you prepare physically for an event or for uh, athletics, but what are the things that you do to mentally prepare yourself? As you said, how do you prepare yourself to take that pressure and perform your very best? Do you have some disciplines that you have followed in your life before a race or before a long jump?
Actually, during those days, I was lucky that there was not much no WhatsApp where there, even internet was very, very, very it was not easily available, and only the newspaper and things were available. So I was getting enough time for myself, and actually, it was not nowadays people are telling like you need to do some training for your like along with your physical training, you need to do some mental training also. But actually in my case, I think it was Bobby was like always he was always with me, and he was supporting me, like he was pushing me from behind, and he was keep on telling me that he was also always encouraging me that and he was giving that uh, what to call support, that you can do that and you can win, and that itself was giving me such kind of encouragement, and that was boosting my morale actually. And in my case actually, I was slowly and steadily even through training, even through competition, I was gaining that mental strength. So it's not that all of a sudden it came. It was stage by stage I gained that. When I was doing in the national level, I was thinking about only that level. When I went to the Asian level, I was thinking about only about that Asian level. When I went to the world stage, then my mindset also reached up to that level. So it's not like when I'm competing in the national level and I'm thinking something bigger like Olympics or World Championship, we cannot handle that. It should like be like in a stage by stage process.
So one thing I've always wondered is that, you know, generally when we are working in a corporate life, what happens is that we work hard, but we get results same day.
Yes.
Sometimes maybe 3 days, 5 days down the line. But in the life of an athlete, you work hard for 4 years and then you get a chance to give results. Again, you have to wait for 4 more years or 2 more years for the next championship. So how do you motivate yourself during that 3, 4 years? Because there is so much of gap between, because you don't get that satisfaction every day. For us, every day we go and make a sale, we get some satisfaction. So I must be imagining how difficult it is, and what kind of disciplines do you follow every day of improving it little bit, so that you are prepared for the next championship or next Olympics.
Yeah, actually, that is the beauty of sports, no? Uncertainty. It's not, there is nothing sure shot. and we need to wait for such a long time. And Olympics once in 4 years it's happening, and we have to actually start our preparation like 4 years before. Some countries are starting their preparation 10 years before. So it's like in sports actually we are like splitting it like day one, day two, day three, and we are fixing our goal for day one. For day two, we are fixing our goal. And if we are not achieving day two's goals, then again for day three, we are fixing the same goal. So day by day, we are reaching up to that bigger games. And as I said, it's not like all of a sudden we are jumping towards Olympics. So if we are fixing our goal for day one, it's easy to achieve. So day two goal is easy. We already achieved day one goal. So day two goal is easy to achieve again. So it's a kind of like splitting a bigger dream. We are splitting one, two, three, four like. So so for day one, if I'm planning to jump 650, so I have to think only about 650. I don't want to think about 7 meters. So day two, we are fixing our jump for 660. So I have to think only about 660. So it's very easy actually, but training is very hard. I'm telling you, athletic training is very hard, especially long jump, because all the our technique is in the air. So we have to learn things very fast because we don't have enough time for that, and we have to do weight training like a weightlifter. We have to do sprints like a sprinter, and we have to jump like a jumper. So for us, we have to do all, and we have to master in all these things, because even if it's a 4 meter, we need to sprint like a sprinter in the last, when we reach the board, the last 4 6 meters or for 8 meters, we have to sprint like a sprinter. It's not like we are sprinting from the beginning. It's gradual acceleration, but last 8 meters we have to sprint, and we have to jump like how the rocket is launching. So so it's a science actually, and we need to learn the science behind sports. So that is the toughest part. For each and every moment what we are doing, we need to learn why we are doing that, and why we are. It's not like, sometimes people, like if somebody is watching a long jump, it's just like running and jumping, but it's not running and jumping. We are calculating each strides, and because if I am running from 40 meters behind, I have to correctly touch on that mark. Otherwise, it's a foul, or it's we are missing some centimeters. So each strides we are calculating, and even the head movement, it will decide how it will be, how where you are going to jump, and even a hand movement, it's going up and down, or some kind of unnatural movements that will decide your jump. So you have to be very careful from the beginning, and you need to calculate each strides. So it's not just running and jumping.
I can imagine. I think technique is so critical in any sport. And one thing that you said was very interesting is that how do you practice what you're going to do in the air? Because you can practice what you're going to do on the ground, but unless you're in the air, you can't practice what you're going to do in the air. So it's almost like it becomes very much more difficult in practicing what you're going to do in the air. Uh, so, so what I want to discover out here is that when you start traveling and you are facing new challenges, especially when you're going to new countries uh, and meeting different coaches, people who have better training, how do Indian athletes sort of learn from that? Because I think that's one big challenge that we face in India also, that a lot of table tennis players, the world top 10 players are not from India. The top 10 coaches in the world are not from India. So how do we actually make a breakthrough in this? There are very few people who have made a breakthrough in, let's say in badminton or in, table tennis, or some in doubles in tennis. But if we are not a dominant player in that country, then we have a problem, because we don't have enough coaches, we don't have enough past world champions, we don't have enough colleagues. So then it's very difficult for us to then excel. So you have broken that barrier in long jump. What are the things that can be done to break the same barrier? What were the things that worked for you?
Yeah, actually, sports, every year the technique is changing in athletics. And Americans, Europeans are doing a lot of research in that, and we are not doing anything, and we are just learning from them. But when we got an idea that this year they changed this, we like, it's all, they already done that, and we are going to learn, so we are behind them, and we have to compete together. So that is the main issue happening in even long jump. Every year they are changing their running pattern, or they are in the air, they are changing some kind of techniques. So what I was doing, um, is, no, we will watch, like when Mike Powell or any other, no, not Mike Powell, Christian or someone is jumping. No, we will watch. Me and Bobby will watch together their live competition, and we will discuss what technique they are implementing this year. And we will try to learn that very fast, and very next competition we will try to execute that. So that is what I was doing, because for us, if even if we ask their coach how you are doing this or how you are implementing this, they won't reveal that. So I was a very fast learner. So I was doing this, and we both were like doing this. And but nowadays everything is very easily available. So you can watch their videos, or every year from the beginning you can like communicate with each other, even through even a WhatsApp, and even through like Zoom or anything, you can interact with people. But those days it was not easily available, so this technique I was using then. But see, the thing is that the best coaches, they won't reveal their secret, what they are doing and what research they are doing. And even if we are we are training with them, they will support only their athletes, and they don't want to like uh, any commitment with us, because we are as a different country, we are from other countries, and they don't want to support. They may train us, but the secret they won't give. So only thing is that we need to like learn things very fast, and we need to understand. That's what I am telling. We need to understand the science behind sports, and then it's very easy for us to learn things.
Actually, one of the chapters in my book is on learnability, how the ability to learn new things is
Yes.
very important for happiness, but I feel also is very important for success, because the more and more things you learn, the more and more you become better. So if you can learn faster, you'll become a better leader, a better entrepreneur, but also a better sports person, because things are changing so rapidly in the world that learning new things is very, very critical. And I think I'm so glad you brought out that topic about learning new things becoming very critical and important. So one thing I wanted to know was that what do you, when people like me, when we are entrepreneurial leaders, we also have this infinite time available to us to build a bigger company and a bigger company and a bigger entrepreneur or whatever XYZ. But for sports people, the time is short. So once you achieve the pinnacle that you have achieved, after that, how do you plan the rest of your life? What is it that you would like to do which will make you happy? So being associated with sports, because some people give up sports and do something totally different. Some people pursue it. What are your thoughts, and what is your uh, purpose that you would like in the next 10, 20, 30 years that you would like to do, which will make you happy?
Yes, actually, an athlete's life is very, very short, maybe maximum 10 year or 15 year or maximum 20 years, not more than that. So we need to achieve whatever we want in that short period. And as you said, some of the athletes, after achieving everything, they leave sport and they will go to some other area. But for me, actually, from very young age, I was living in this field, and today also I am in this field, because beyond that, beyond sport, I don't think I can live without this sport. So my goal was like, even after my retirement, I need to give something back to my society, because what I am today is just because of this sport. So I need to, because as an athlete who reach up to the world stage, I can easily guide the young how we can how we can reach up to this level, because I already did that. So it's for us actually it's very easy to guide them. So actually, yeah, there are a lot of opportunities even for me now, but I decided, even Gobi decided, we need to be in this field, and we can guide the youngsters, and we can coach our younger talents, and we can bring laurels, more laurels to our country. So actually, even if we are saying like athletes and coaches are are the center stage, but still some discrimination is still there. So we are thinking like they are the bottom part, but we want to be with the bottom part still. And I started my academy in Bangalore, Anju Bobby Sports Foundation, and now that academy is working in Sports Authority of India. Our ground is getting ready, and we are running here and there for funding, because ministry gave only 5 crores, and you know how much it will cost for a synthetic track. And we are also putting a lot of money in that from our side, our personal investment. We are also because there is some limitation, because we are not that rich. So we are also putting money, and I don't know till where I can push that. But 14 athletes, young girls, are with us from all over India, and two UP girls, one Shaili Singh, she is world number 2 at her age category. She's just 16-year-old, and few more athletes are there. So this is my dream. I reach up to a certain level. So I want to push our India beyond that. And if one of my ward get a world Olympic medal, I can say that it's my medal, because that's the only one I missed in my career, athletic career. So that is my dream. I am still living in that dream. And I think one day, maybe 2024 or 2028, I can fulfill my dream.
Well, I'm sure, Anju, you will, because I have a similar dream about India winning a Olympic medal in table tennis. So I put a lot of effort and whatever I can do to act like a catalyst. And I think that pride that you feel as a coach or as a team owner is a very different kind of pride. It's not your own pride, but it's the pride of the country. So I'm keeping your fingers crossed that you achieve your goal, which will be India also, and would love to have that as that. So I think moving forward, Anju, I would love to understand some things that you do as a practice on a day-to-day basis, which is like a discipline. When you did it in the childhood, what time you got up, how you exercised, you meditated, what are the things you did, which have you continued them even after uh, you're not an active athlete at this point of time? And do you continue some practices on a day-to-day basis? So I have this theory in my book that he says so many times not about goal setting and what goals you set, but it's all about what kind of disciplines you set for yourself. That you get up at this time, you do this exercise, you do this, because like when I play table tennis, I used to go and play matches and then you would never improve. But you had to do a lot of, training. The training is boring in a way compared to going and doing the long jump, but that's what you need to do most of your time. Same way I'm taking 1,000 table tennis balls and just doing the same serve again and again is boring. But if you really want to win service points, then you have to do that. So would love to know what are the disciplines you've had in your life, and have the disciplines changed then when you're not an active athlete at this point in time?
I can say that from childhood itself, uh, I am leading a life as a sports person. So, I actually, when I was very small, when I was studying in fifth standard, I used to go to ground around early morning 4:30, and from there, after training, directly to school, and after school again to ground. So that was my routine. So I was not getting enough time to play with my friends, or I was not getting enough time to roam around with or watching movie or anything. It was beyond my dream, because I was not getting time. And when I was a teenager, like all my friends, I was because I am always under the sun. So my skin was getting dark, and so even the beauty part, it was uh, it was away from me. So but my full focus was towards sports, and how can I jump further, or what kind of changes I can make in my training, or all sort of things I was into. So I think that muscle memory and that brain memory is still there. Even after my career, if I am eating something extra, it's giving me a guilty feeling that I had something extra, so I have to go to gym and I have to do training. So without at least 30 minutes, if I am not getting in time for training, see, it's kind of like, oh, I miss something, and I'm actually, so it's kind of without a training, and like even time management, that's the main thing. See, if someone is telling, like saying you like 6 o'clock you should be here, we'll be there just 5 minutes before. So that discipline, and that discipline in your life, I think we can keep throughout your life. And all this, like fitness, discipline, time management, so everything, I think you can, is there in your memory. So no need to like uh, like you have to do, like it will be doing, like that will be like you are chasing your daily routine, it will come automatically.
Yeah, actually, Anju, you mentioned, and when before the interview, we was talking about a person who's the chairman of Dentsu called Tim Andre. So he was drafted in Chicago Bulls, and then he went on to become the chairman of Dentsu, which is a $60 billion company. And it got me thinking that so many times playing competitive sport brings out some qualities in you and disciplines you for success in life. So, as you said about punctuality or the ability to understand that you're not going to win every time, hard work gives you results. Uh, and discipline is the most important thing. And micro improvements. If you want to achieve a gold medal in the Olympics, you can't achieve it today. You have to improve yourself micro every day for the next 365 days into 4 before you can achieve the gold medal. So how do you actually keep track of improvements in your life every day? In fact, one of the persons I interviewed was this person called Vishal Gondal, and he talks about that he imagines himself to be, let's say, an iPhone 11. So if iPhone 12 is coming out next year, what are the features the phone should have so it makes a worthwhile upgrade? So how are we upgrading ourselves every year? And as you said, upgrading ourselves every day so that we become a better version of us next year. And I think these are mental models that there is so much of synergy and connecting dots between different people. All the people that I know who have achieved success, they have these mental models. They all connect to each other in some way. They have different ways of expressing it, but they all connected. And it's just wonderful to hear what you said. And it's so useful for the audience that they cultivate these qualities and discipline in their life, then they can achieve success in whatever things that they want to achieve success in. So last thing I wanted to cover was that you were discovered very late that you had one kidney, and being in the most arduous sport that one can imagine, which is athletics. uh, I'm just wondering, right, if you had both kidneys, then it would have been a gold medal in the Olympics. But many times people are disappointed with the cards they are dealt in their life, and accepting the cards that you're dealt and making the best of it. I think you are a great example of it. So would love to know the emotions of your family, yourself, when you discovered this, and how did it not stop you and limit you, but empowered you to still continue your career?
Actually, very late, at the age of 22, 23, I came to know about this situation, about my health status, that I am living with a single kidney. But the initial stages, I was really scared, because it's a new for me, because I was thinking like I'm a perfect woman, I'm a perfect athlete, and I can do beyond my limitations. But all of a sudden there was a stop, because the doctors advised me like, if you're leading a normal life, it's okay, but if you're pushing your body beyond your limitations, then we also cannot predict how it will react. So initial stages I got scared, but Bobby, he did all the research, and he was like, I was having ankle injury also. That was a very bad ankle injury, and my ankle is almost dead. There is no reaction from my takeoff leg. So I was doing like heavy taping throughout my career, before each jump, each training jumps or each competition. It was like I used to arrest my ankle with heavy taping, and I was doing with that. Otherwise, I can't even walk. I will get pain. So that is also other thing, and this is also when you think. So Bobby was like, "Oh my God, what I will do with this athlete?" But actually, he studied, I think, about this situation and how we can work, because each day my body was reacting in a different like way. If I am doing today like 660, tomorrow maybe I am not even able to walk, or my body will be getting swelling, or the fatigue will come, and and if I take some painkillers, I will admit in the hospital like I'm allergic to painkillers. So it was a big task for him to make me from a national level athlete to a world championship medalist. And I can say that it is his effort more than my talent. It was his effort and his um, like ability as a coach who pushed me from a national level to an international athlete. Um, Actually, when we learned about this situation, I was very young, and I got scared, and I was like, if I say something openly, then people will look at me with like, oh, she's having this problem, and even if even if I get a medal from Olympics or World Championship, it's in a different angle. They will look at that medal with sympathy. So that sympathy actually won't take you anywhere. So that's why I kept it secret. Even if I am not getting a proper jump up, I'm not getting a medal. I thought I don't need that sympathy. So now if I reveal that, I can see the difference. See, I can motivate people. I did the entire career with these limitations, but I pushed beyond my limitations and I reached up to this level. Even I can do, and you can also do. So that motivation I can give now, but those days it was something different. 2000, it was a different year, and 2020 is a different year. People can understand, and they can easily connect.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think there is a huge difference in the past uh, and what it is today, because I think a lot of people had a lot of, they're very opinionated. When I look at even articles or I look at the history of sports, there was a lot of opinionated people. Now, I think the world has become a slightly more open place
Yes.
where people are willing to accept differences in people and get inspiration from them rather than look at, as you said, from a different lens and different eye. So, one last thing before I bring Weber in, I wanted to ask you was that uh, generally in business or at work, there is no, uh, they have this thing that the winner does not take all. So what happens is that if I don't become the most successful entrepreneur in India, let's say Mukesh Ambani, I may still land up with enough adequate wealth for myself. But the problem with sports is either you become a Mukesh Ambani or you don't become nobody.
Yes.
So you are training these 16 girls right now in your academy. How do we sort of encourage them to aim for the best in the world and become a medalist in the Olympics, but also prepare them that if that objective does not happen, there is still life and there is still a lot that sports will teach you, which will help you in achieving success and happiness in the rest of your life. So, what is your thoughts on that? How do we prepare? Is that something that they need to be prepared for, or you think we should prepare them only after they have not achieved some result?
From my point of view, even if when we are going for a competition, we need to like um, both side we need to take care. Like if I win a competition, how should I celebrate? Or if I am not winning, how should I react? So these both things we need to evaluate before the competition, and we need to like the best stage and the worst stage we need to imagine before, and that is how I used to do. And I'm teaching the same thing even for my younger kids, like how to prepare for a competition. It's not that always it's your day. So some days are not yours, so how you need to cope up with that. And it's actually through, along with the training, we are teaching our kids how to behave in a society, and how to project you as a person, and how to behave outside our country, because we are Indians, and we are carrying some kind of what you call uh, legacy. So how to showcase our country in front of the world. And it's not like we are teaching them how to jump or how to run. So we are molding a perfect person, or we are taking out the personality, we are developing their personality also. So most of the kids are from very humble family, so we need to support them like A to Z. So they're financially we need to support them, their studies we need to support them, we are sending them in good colleges, good schools, and and along with that we are preparing them for the Olympics or World Championships. So even from table manners, so language, and everything. So we are developing their personality also, and that is very important nowadays, and everywhere. So it's very important. So it's not like just coaching we are doing, we are teaching everything.
One of the reasons where I feel that, you know, interest of people in sports is limited to a few sports, and that also only in the men's category or only in the senior level, because I think most of us give up sports in our younger days if you're not professionals. So, when I was 17 years old, 16 years old, I gave up table tennis and took it up again only when I turned 35, because, my parents wanted me to get settled, and that getting settled is a eternal process. You never settled. So even though I sold my company, even though I got married, everything, nothing gets settled, right? So I think if we could encourage our children to continue sports while they're working, while they're studying, it'll do two things. One is, if you take USA, there is a lot of college sports that are very popular. So automatically, when college sports are popular, that means everybody gets encouraged at all levels. You don't have to wait for him to become a national player before he gets recognized, because you need recognition as a sports person to progress. Second thing is, the more and more we continue our sports, I think people are happier. When I play table tennis in the morning and I go to office, I have this stride in my step. I am happier through the day.
That
Because
day is brighter.
exactly, right. Unfortunately, what has happened is we've forced all our kids to leave up their passions. Uh, so I spoke in an event, and basically I said that getting settled is the biggest epidemic the India as a country faces, because it makes us leave all our passions in this quest of getting settled, and because of which we lead a very, very sad life, giving up the passion that we had in our lives, and that affects our performance in our career. We become a lesser lawyer, lesser doctor, lesser leader,
The
because
thing, yes, the thing is that we are always living for someone else. When we are young, we are living for our parents, and when we are parents, we are living for our kids. So we are not living for us. That's the main issue.
absolutely. So I'm on this note, I think the only one thing that we would like to transfer to the audience is that if you have a passion, don't give it up because you want to get settled. even if you continue your passion, you can still get settled. So your parents need not worry. You will not only get settled, but you will become a better professional because
Yes.
you will be happier, and happiness brings you success. So on this note, Vaibhav, you're please welcome to come back.
Thank you so much. I want all of us to understand, I mean, in terms of audience, that there are two hugely successful people on the panel, and they are saying that being settled is a myth. So don't go for the timelines or the thought pattern that perhaps our parents had. The time is changing. You need to be fluid, you need to be flexible, and go ahead and achieve your dream. Thank you for the wonderful conversation that, I was enjoying every bit of it, and at times the conversation became so warm that it was amazing. And Vivek is all smiles because we have an athlete today on the panel. So, because somewhere I think once an athlete is always an athlete. You might be doing a startup or you might be working in customs, but then you are always an athlete. You always have that spirit. It's never going to go anywhere. So Anju, my question to you is, I remember Vivek once mentioning about a table tennis tournament. I think he traveled to some part of Europe, and after that, after the tournament got over, he was like, "Arey, abhi मैं क्या करूं?" Like for that brief moment, did you? So won the world championship uh, in 2003 in Paris, did you feel like a sense of like okay, now you won, now what? Was there how was that moment? I would love to know from you.
I think for an athlete, there is no stop because after winning a world championship medal, I was aiming for 2004 Olympic Games. So I was thinking like from a country like where athletics is nowhere, even if the entire world athletics is something big and athletics is in Olympics that is the center stage, but in India it was nowhere. So if I can win a medal in world championship, I can do the same thing in Olympics also. So I was getting ready for Olympics. When I missed Olympics, I was aiming for next year's World Athletic Finals, and that is uh, tougher than this because only seven world top seven will get entry for that competition, and
Wow.
that competition is tougher than I can say that this. So every year we are fixing new goals. So it was just rolling on. There was no stop in between.
Fabulous. And since Anju and Vivek both are nurturing talent so that they can win a gold medal or at least a medal in Olympics. Now, I was listening to Sonu Nigam a few days ago, though it's a bit controversial, but I still want to ask that he says that he doesn't want his child to sing in India. He doesn't want his child to sing in India,
Oh, okay.
his son. And since even you're a parent and you also nurture, why is it difficult in India to win medals? We have such a large population, but you have been through things yourself. So why do you think it's so difficult for India to win medals at a competitive level like Olympics or World Games?
Actually, in India, we have got many talented athletes,
Absolutely.
and but the system, we need a system. For me, actually, Bobby was working as a system, so he was doing A to Z. But for some other athletes, it's not working. Even if they are, they may be training under a good coach, but they are not getting enough competitions in Europe. Someone else need to manage that. And if you are injured, you need to find a good doctor. And even during training, you need to get good massage. And your food, someone should take care of. Your travel, someone should take care of. And for each year, we need to prepare 1 year before. And we need to like which competition, which day we are going for. So all things someone should manage for you. That system is not working properly in India. So we are spending lot and lot of amount, but that's the main thing. And it's not all about training. We need to get exposure. We need to like the, through competition you need to peak. And see, the training is only 50%, like the rest of 50% is through competition you need to gain.
Right.
So all sort of things someone should manage and someone should like support you. So
So,
that is not happening.
so we get that the support system is very important.
Yes, yes.
Vivek, what do you think? A lot of startups, a lot of businesses, they have a CSR budget. How can we perhaps make them spend a little more on sports and all of that? What is your take on this? Since you are in both the worlds of sports and business.
No, actually, in my case,
Sorry.
I'm still struggling.
Sorry. The question was for Vivek.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
This is every time you do this, right? You point at somebody, and I don't know what you have to say it very, very.
But I said Vivek.
So okay. Anyway, so tell you what my thoughts is, right? Just adding to your previous question, also, I think the biggest change that the country needs is this mindset change at all levels. At the level of a parent, where they want their children to take up sports and not leave up their passion. At the thing of the government, where they want India to create world-class athletes, uh, the systems which is going to help everybody. But I think the biggest challenge, if you ask me, both for sports as well as for entrepreneurs, is the mindset. So if you take, I read this book called Startup Nation, where an Israeli mother wanted her children to become an entrepreneur first. If that is not possible, then get a job. In India, a parent would want the job first, and only if he doesn't get a job, then they will be disappointed if they become an entrepreneur. That's the reason creating world-class entrepreneurs becomes difficult. Even if you take the bureaucrats of the government, the processes they have for entrepreneurs, right? Even today, I have to go to the income tax office and explain things that I did 9 years ago, where I paid 2 lakh rupees to somebody. Now they want me to find that guy and get an invoice from him, right? That amount is irrelevant for me if you take the amount of taxes I paid over the last 8-9 years, right? But the thing is, I have to now find a guy whose number I don't have, and it's 9-year-old thing. But this is the things that happens constantly to entrepreneurs. That's the reason successful entrepreneurs, second time around, they don't want to take up an entrepreneurial venture in India, because every day you get hassled for something or the other, right? But I believe that, I think it's important as entrepreneurs to realize that this is our country. This is where I feel, in spite of the hardships, it is the best place to create wealth, is the best place to do something back for the country. So I have told, let's say, my team, listen, we're going to face these challenges, but face it. 20 years ago, the challenges were more different. Now it's become better, and it's becoming better every year. So how we talk about micro improvements in ports, even the income tax office, the startup environment, it is improving every day, every year. So in the next 5 years, 10 years, when your company becomes big, hopefully it'll be a better environment to work in. But even when I was talking to investors, they were very hesitant to invest in India company, because they say that, you can't protect your IP, you'll always have income tax problems, you'll always have excise problems, you'll always have some problem with the other dealing, right? And he was right, that they face so many problems even today, right? Some of these problems are irrelevant, but as entrepreneurs, you face these problems, and that's what it is, right? So you have, these are the cards you were dealt. So I think the CSR budget that you talked about, Weber, it all depends on, am I feeling positive towards the sport? Am I following college level sports? Is my kids involved in competitive sport? Because CSR budget comes from passions, right? The reason I do CSR in table tennis is because I'm passionate about table tennis. If Anju became a billionaire tomorrow, she will support athletics. The thing is that if you're not involved in the sports, then it becomes very difficult to convince the person to get involved. Let's say today, Ultimate Table Tennis League was started by Neeraj Bajaj, who was a national level table tennis player, and Meeta Dani, whose son is a world-class athlete in table tennis, Mudit Dani. So what happens is that all the people who are contributing back to sports, at some level, either they have been an athlete, or their children are athletes, or they're involved in that sport in some way. So the thing is that in order for us to have more CSR from the corporate world, we need more corporates to get involved in sports. Otherwise, they will not have the passion, and they will not have the passion, then it'll always be, okay, I'm doing you a favor. We don't need any favors. We want them to benefit from it. So if the more and more of the countries involved in sports, more and more they watch it, the more and more their kids start excelling in sports, CSR and all the monies will come into sport. Like in cricket, it has come in the same way. If everybody else was watching other sports, right, then it would come into the other sports also. So I think we have to increase the level of sports in grassroots levels. And I feel once we achieve some kind of world dominance in any sport, then the money comes in. If you take badminton, right, money has come into badminton, and people have got, people leave everything and watch badminton because we know that we have a chance to win a gold medal. We have a chance to do that. If tomorrow, if 30 of our athletes who had chances of winning different medals in athletics, athletics will become very popular and more money will come in. Right now, we have 1, 2 athletes who have broken the barrier. But once we have 10, 20, 30 athletes breaking the barrier, like even table tennis, right? We don't have a top 10 in the world in table tennis. Our best person is 28 or 26th rank. When Satyan or Sharat Kamal move into the top 10 or top 5 or top 3, then you will see a lot more money is coming in, lot more people wanting to watch it, lot people knowing about it. That all will happen when we improve the level of sports at the grassroots level. So I think what we have to wait for is strive hard that how do we create more and more athletes. So Anju's academy is also a step in that direction, that out of the 16 girls, if 4 or 5 medals are won in 2028, then suddenly you'll see athletics getting all the monies it needs. But we need those first 5 medals coming in.
Fabulous. Thank you, Anju. Thank you, Vivek, for bringing so much of insight to your journeys. I hope we all have benefited out of this, and I hope to connect with you guys soon and discuss more on this. But thank you once again, and for everybody watching us, please subscribe, like, and share. And remember to let your friends know about the channel. Happiness is a muscle. Till then, see you.